Those that are pushing the homosexual agenda and same-sex marriage have been working themselves up this week to say that what we are presenting tonight as evidence of this risk to our religious liberties does not exist. But it's not just religious leaders, it's not just academic leaders that you'll hear tonight, but as well as political leaders that understand the threat that this poses to our nation. Recognized for his leadership and accomplishments both in the worlds of public policy and in the private sector. He's been a husband for 37 years, a father of 5, and a grandfather of 10. And no one has a better understanding of what is at stake in this debate, not only for this state, but for this nation, than the governor of Massachusetts. Please welcome Governor Mitt Romney and First Lady Ann Romney.
Thank you. You know, I began a few minutes ago by saying that the authors of liberty recognized a divine creator who gave to each one of us certain inalienable rights. They affirmed that freedom of religion would be our base, and they prescribed the establishment of any one religion. But today there are some people who are trying to establish one religion, the religion of secularism. They not only reject traditional values, they reject the values of our founders, and they cast aside the wisdom of the ages. Their allies are activist judges, and here in Massachusetts, activist judges struck a blow to the foundation of civilization, the family. They ruled that our Constitution requires people of the same gender to marry. I believe their error occurred because they focused on adult rights. They said that if heterosexual adults can marry, then homosexual couples have to also be able to marry to have equal rights. But what they ignored is that marriage is not primarily about adults. Marriage is about the nurturing and development of children. A child's development is enhanced by the nurturing of both genders. Every child deserves a mother and a father. Of course, the principal burden of this court's ruling doesn't fall on adults. It falls on children. We're asked to change the state birth certificate. To prevent heterocentricity, mother and father would become parent A and parent B. An elementary school teacher reads to her second graders from a book titled The King and the King, about a prince who marries a prince. And a second grader's father is denied the right to have his child taken out of that classroom while the book is being read. Our state's most difficult to place adoptive children may no longer be placed by Catholic Charities because they favor homes where there's a mother and a father. The price of same-sex marriage is paid by the children. Our fight for marriage, then, should focus on the needs of children, not the rights of adults. In fact, as Americans, I believe that we should show an outpouring of respect and tolerance for all people. I believe God loves all of his children, that no one is abhorred, that regardless of the differences and different choices, we should show that same respect. As Americans, we must vigorously reject discrimination and bigotry. Massachusetts is on the front line of marriage, but unless we adopt a federal amendment to protect marriage, what's happening here will unquestionably enter every other state. This spreading secular religion and its substitute values cannot be allowed to weaken the foundation of the family or the faith of our fathers, who more than life their country loved. Thank you so much.
The tragedy today in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts is that the courts are advancing a godless, secular agenda, which is ripping out the very heart of what Americans have always believed
They're hoping to change the age-old definition to include not only same-sex marriages, but also polygamy and perhaps group marriage and who knows what else. If that becomes law, the family as we know it will die, and with it will go everything else that sits on that foundation.
If we don't win this battle, the day will come, write it down, the day will come when they'll walk into your church. If you say one thing wrong, bad about homosexuality, they'll walk in your church and they'll shut you up and you'll be arrested for a hate crime.
My wife said to me this morning, she said, well, okay then, if sodomites, because they're not gays, it's a misnomer, they're sodomites, there were sodomy laws in this country all over from 1600s, and it was one time a capital offense. How could we make it a capital offense? Because most lawyers studied from William Blackstone, who was the foundation, it was the foundation book that helped those lawyers get a clue as to how they should govern and how they should practice law. Where did he get it from? The Bible. The Bible was the book. If God calls homosexuality abomination, if he calls it vile affections, if he calls it wickedness, I can't call it inappropriate behavior. No, sir. So if this is just a small matter, I'll tell you what, let two women go on an island and a whole bunch of, all women, if you're sodomites, go on an island, stay by yourself, all women, put all the men on another island. This is my wife talking to me this morning. Let them stay. I tell you what, we'll come back and see you in about 100 years. Do you get it? Because a man and a man and a woman will not make a child. Now I'm offended, and they got offended at me because at the simulcast, I called this whole idea of trying to get rights and trying to get over there on the African-American side, I call it the rape of the civil rights movement. And that's an issue to me. That's a real issue with me. Okay. Now, if you tell me your issue is the same as that issue, I'll say, you better get a clue. Get out of here. You're not getting over here. And that, you ain't getting in that. You're not getting in that. No, sir.